Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we could discuss Heartbeeps. So this is a romantic comedy slash drama about robots falling in love. Andy Kaufman and Bernadette Peters play two household robots who meet up at a repair center, by sheer coincidence while they're there to have some upgrades put in and repairs made. And they start to talk to each other and they slowly start to fall in love with each other. And they decide, they start to talk about the outside world, their plans for the future, their role in society. And eventually they decide they're just gonna elope together and get married and start a life together. And of course, that would involve children and a robot of an elderly vaudeville comedian to help them out. But of course, there's a police robot that is very determined chasing them down, and that's kind of the premise here: is can our robots escape this life of servitude and pursue their own, happiness and desires. So Heartbeeps is kind of infamous for being like a flop or like a bad choice by Andy Kaufman, who was like red hot at the time and put a bunch of other potential projects on hold to make Heartbeeps. I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan. This doesn't have a traditional Andy Kaufman sense of humor, if you can even say that, because his sense of humor was so all over the place. But this does have something that he's very well known for, which it is weird. It is awkward at times. It's a little like a little bit uncomfortable. You're not really sure what to take seriously and what's to be laughed at. So in that sense, it does capture a lot of the like spirit of Andy Kaufman in this, and you can tell why it was so important to him. I thought the main thing that sticks with me is like the weirdness of it. There's some really really strange scenes, and just the whole premise is kind of out there. So it's just kind of, for me as someone who really enjoys that added a lot to the movie that maybe somebody who's looking for more traditional cinema might not have appreciated. I love the look of the robots. I think the designs, how they're executed, is fantastic. I mean, the production values in this are just beautiful. Like there's so many different robots. There's so many different like creative locations and visuals, and this movie looks really, really good. It looks really polished. But again, I understand that it's got kind of a weird story and the whole vibe is weird, but I thought it was a good time to watch. Definitely think it struggles sometimes. It really has to chug along, especially toward the beginning. But I thought the farther you get into the movie, the better it is. And I thought by the finale, it was actually becoming a really entertaining movie. So I'm kind of biased because I really like Andy Kaufman, but I do think this is a decent movie that's much more watchable than its reputation would say, especially if you like weird movies and just kind of like inexplicable, like almost experimental kind of movies. It definitely has its moments where it struggles, but again, I think overall there's a really interesting and creative concept here, and that's enough to bring me in, matched with like the visuals and the vibe and the atmosphere. So sorry for rambling on and on about Heartbeeps, but it's just kind of a complex movie. And part of its legacy is tied into one of my favorite performers of all time, Andy Kaufman. So I just want to spend like one extra minute talking about it here. Anyway, that's my review of Heartbeeps. If you want to check out more of my reviews, you can go right here on YouTube to my movie review playlist, where I have over 1,000 movie reviews already ready to go. But until then, thanks for watching this one. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you soon.